welcome to another Friday night. We're back, at least not entirely, not mentally, but we are back in some form. Welcome, this is Hardcore Wrestling Radio's Four Corner Rants. I am the designated driver tonight, and I'm drinking. I think that's a problem, Lance. Uh,
Oh shit.
and welcome back to Friday night. So we are here in Four Corner Rants, and I am the host of Scoldren's Realm, and this I am Joseph Scoldren Knight, and I've got the two greatest people in the world with me. First of all, before I make that intro, big intros here. It he is over in the chat room. It is Matthew Walsh. How you doing, Matthew? Welcome to the stream. This is a wrestling podcast we do every Friday night. Let me introduce the Vicious Vixen, the demoness from Kentucky's own wrestling. She is our beloved but deadly Zoe Nightshade.
You know it. So happy to be back. And I've actually expanded myself, not only in KZW, but because of everything going on with the virus, we can't wrestle in Kentucky. So you guys can usually catch me now over in Jellicoe, Tennessee. We got a show coming up September 26th.
There you go. That's good to hear. I'm glad there's some companies that are allowed to do shows again.
Oh,
Tony,
these are out shows, so it's not going to be that bad.
yeah, absolutely. Tony Khan actually was allowed people in AEW, so they're allowed to do some fans. And now let's go over to our other southern brother. I couldn't even get that out of my mouth. He is the incomparable one, Lance Moss. Lance, are we ready for tonight?
I don't know, as will ever be.
Okay, that doesn't sound too comforting, but I guess we'll have to deal with it.
I know.
All right, so he is not here tonight. He is the boss of HWR, our ruler, our prime leader. He is Rick Head, so he's not here tonight. So we just want to send him that. Let's open up the news. First of all, our condolences to the Armstrong family, the great legend of the Armstrong family. Bullet Bob Armstrong passed away. Um, I believe he was, and now I'm gonna have to look over me notes. It's a sad thing that he passed away. I believe he was like 69. I just want to clarify that before I say anything else that'll make me look bad. Because everything I'd
You're
say.
used to looking bad at the hands of Bullet Bob Armstrong, aren't you, Joe?
Let's not bring that up right now. Uh, yeah, no, he died at the age of 80. So
Man.
you can see the post, the actual post on Scoldren's Room in the HWR chat room, in the in the group section in Facebook. So make sure you check it out. It is, and obviously he has his very famous sons, Scott Armstrong. Um, I forgot what was it. He's got the Road Dog. He's got Scott Armstrong, Brad, and Steve and Brian, and that's who the Road Dog is, Jesse James Armstrong. So there you go. It's sad legend. I had a chance to meet him and actually work one time with him, and what a honor. I'll say that. What an honor it was to work with him. But at the same time, it was on the end of being chased out of Tennessee. So, but again, it was something. It was a fun time. Great to have met him. Never met the brothers yet. I think I met Scott I think what was the older Brad Armstrong. He was a good guy. He was one of the Lightning Express back in the old UWF with Tim Horner. So all right, so let's go. Uh, we have some breaking news. Lance, you want to take it away?
Well, apparently, if because we SmackDown has just ended like 4 minutes ago, and apparently there's a new Paul Heyman guy, and it would be the big dog himself, Roman Reigns.
Wow. So Roman Reigns is a Paul Heyman guy. Zoe, what's that mean for Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar ain't around, so it don't matter. In fact, if this keeps Brock Lesnar away from the WWE, hey, I'll be a Paul Heyman girl. I'll be a Roman Reigns girl.
Well, this could set up Roman to be a victim of the Beast again.
Oh God, I hope not.
I
Well,
mean, down the line, I mean,
well, you know what's funny here? You bring that up, guys. One of the things is, what if it's the other way around? What if, because Brock is not active enough, that they do the switcheroo and actually set up Brock where Paul Heyman does something and says, "Well, you're not active, you're not here." Boom, on the road, and Roman Reigns actually takes him out. Which obviously they'll do a storyline later on where obviously Paul Heyman will say, "Look, Roman made me do it. I didn't do it. Roman made me do it." It almost sounded like
Roman made me do it, honey.
yeah, it's like almost sounded like Gilbert Godfrey there. God damn it. Lance, what do you think about storm? So there we go. Right back on.
We got a hurricane coming through here.
What are you talking about?
What's up with that?
Yeah. All right, so we're back live again. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It looks like the internet, of course, being the internet, decided to uh, crash and burn there. So I don't know. Obviously, it, there he is. Matthew is back. Again, it crashed and it burned again. So I'm going to share this around. We were talking about Paul Heyman. Now he has Roman Reigns in his corner. And I have to say that is a big, big surprise coming out of that because Roman Reigns usually is a loner. And welcome back, Matthew. Thanks for being part of this second edition here. Um, but yeah, it is absolutely funny. It's surprising. I'll put that. I don't know where this is going to go. We were just bringing it up that what if Roman Reigns, what if, Paul Heyman betrays Brock, Roman takes him out, and then later down the road, when they want to bring him back, they decide, hey, guess what? We're going to literally say, hey, we're going to bring back Brock, and Paul says, it was him, it was him. He made me do it. And they betray Roman Reigns, and he becomes a good guy again. So, Lance, you were saying we had you on the mic on that. What was your belief on that?
Well, since they've already done that to Brock one time in his career, I don't know if he'd let them do it twice. Because remember, back at I believe, the first Survivor Series where they had the Elimination Chamber, which was, I think, '02, they did that when it was Brock versus Paul versus Big Show, and he got double crossed there by Paul Heyman.
Wasn't that bad pay per view or something like that?
No, that was Survivor Series 2002, where there was the first Elimination Chamber.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Matthew. Thanks for the like for the stream. Again, thank you for sharing the stream as well. All right, so Zoe, what do you think of that scenario? Do you think it can happen?
It could definitely happen. I mean, it is WWE. Anything could happen. But all I'm praying for is please don't let it happen because I do not want to hear my client, Brock Lesnar, repeatedly again.
Well, I don't think you're gonna hear him repeat. I think it's gonna be, "I'm my new man, Roman Reigns." So that's
Hey,
what.
at least Roman shows up to work.
Here was a question, guys. We got
Well, not for the last 6 months.
well,
Well, you know what I mean.
we have a question from Matthew. He says, "So is Brock still doing both UFC fighting and WWE shows? He was doing both for a while." Actually, no. I believe he stopped doing that. Um, he was strictly with WWE, and I believe right now he's still in the WWE, but again, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
he works when he wants to or when Sable lets him do it,
Or when he can escape the house.
or when he can escape the house. Jeez. All right, so we're gonna move on to another little thing. Brody Lee is the AEW TNT champion. Cody Rhodes wrote himself off of television to work strictly in the back. Lance, I'm going to say that's bravo. Good for Cody. He needs to stick to the back where he can really control what's going on because that's what we've seen in the back with some of these guys and girls. You know, sometimes the stories are not that great, and we've seen some of those. What is it? Those what do you call the Dark Order people doing these weird missing shots, like far away shots, supposedly trying to hit people, and they don't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you know what they say, and this is something Cody's daddy has even said. The one thing a booker cannot do is book themselves,
Mm-hmm.
or should not do, because they'd put themselves on top.
Well, and that was a lot of the case back in the NWA days in the '80s with Dusty as Booker. Well, Dusty had because I was an avid fan of the NWA as long as with WWF and other promotions, but the Dusty knew enough that he had to share the limelight. There was the Rock and Rolls, there were the Koloffs, there were the Horsemen, woo, with Ric
Woo!
Flair, and you know you had the Barry Windhams, and you had the other other people. So while he sometimes was in the spotlight and winning belts and going to that pay window, brother, Lance, you
Pay
do
with
it
the
better
baby.
with me. You do it better. Then go ahead,
It's
say
a
it.
pay, go to the pay with the baby.
Thank you. Um, Basically, he was the man to do all that. So he knew enough to share it around. Zoe, what do you think about Cody now getting rid of the title? He made it a credible title. It's like a TV title. Now he's dropped that off. He's dropped it to Brody Lee, and he's moved on to the backstage stuff. What do you think about that?
I respect the heck out of the man for doing that. Because, I mean, like you guys were saying, a lot of times if you book yourself, you're going to book yourself to always come out on top. I think it was a good decision to have him start working in the back a little bit more. I think that's a great decision that they put the belt on Brody Lee. Uh, whenever he was in WWE, it always confused me. Why didn't they put a really good title on this man? Because he's got talent. And nowadays in AEW, he earned that belt. I can say that. He has earned that belt. I think he'll do it justice as a heel.
And we have a new TNT title belt. Thank God.
Well,
What?
it's not really a new belt. It's a completed title. I think
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it's a different belt and it's completed.
right, and I think that's one of the things that's really good that they had the chance to complete the belt, and now it's done, and it looks good. It reminds me, I think, of Taz's old belt, and it reminds me of a TV title. I respect that, and I really like the belt. AEW actually brought titles back that look like titles. They don't
Yeah.
they don't look like WW, and that's it. So we're gonna move on to another bit of news right here on the Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer said that NXT star Maya Yim was one of the Retribution members who appeared at Raw this week to attack the Mysterio family. But that doesn't necessarily mean she is part of the group. Now, she was under the gimmick, so nobody could really see her. And I think for shortage of members, they probably wanted to do this. Dominic Divajic and Dio Madden are also believed to have been members of Retribution, and they're from NXT. Um, that the thing with Retribution is there. I still say it in my opinion, it is a copy of the Dark Order, but they took the stuff that's happening in real life, like all these riots and Tifa and all that, and they're bringing it to TV. Zoe, I'm going to throw this question to you. Is this a good thing to mimic something that is actually happening in real life? We're seeing all these riots, these looting and burning and violence and destruction. Shouldn't wrestling not stoop to that?
Personally, I don't think that it should stoop to that. With wrestling, it's for entertainment. I mean, if you're a fan like me, I watch the wrestling to escape from what's going on out there in the world with the protests and the violence and everything. I don't want to sit here and tune in to hope to be entertained by wrestling only to see, oh, wow, the real world is spilling over into, kind of a fantasy world that a lot of fans have. I think it's dumb. I think that's childish personally.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way. Lance, let's go to you on this subject. Again, Zoe made the case. We've seen this stuff in real life. We kind of look at wrestling as a takeaway thing. Whether you believe it or not, it's there for entertainment. And I personally don't think it's a good idea. But then again, you know, WWE saw kind of the Dark Order type deal and wanted to make it a little bit more real because let's face it, the um, Dark Order is kind of a gimmicky. I don't know what you would call it. They're mostly like a gimmicky. Uh,
Dolph Ziggler Dome.
yeah, they're like exactly that in the cultish type thing. So they're not something that's actually real, except if you get
Well,
lost in the woods somewhere.
well, here's the thing though. I actually think it's a good thing they're doing this kind of Antifa thing, bringing the real world into professional wrestling because it's not really a new thing to bring the real world into the wrestling world. I mean, look in the 80s and early 90s when you had Nikolai Volkov and Shiki Baby doing during the time of the Cold War and the Iran Contra thing, being the dirtiest damn heels in the tag team division, or when Shiki Baby, as I can't remember what they used what his other name was when he was managing Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan during I believe it was the first Gulf War.
Yeah, he was Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah, so them bringing real world stuff in, because I mean, honestly, who didn't want to see a guy in an Antifa mask get the shit kicked out of him?
And again, that is kind of true, especially today, with people actually um, with the situations that's going on. So I can actually see that.
I mean, hell, we had when people were going bat shit over the immigration thing. We had we the people.
No,
So this is nothing new.
and then remember we had the right to censor, and I think we've had the Nation of Domination, which was a ripoff of uh,
Black Panthers.
Farrakhan. It was the Black Panther, but also a ripoff of the Nation of Islam. So that was one of the things as well. So we're gonna move on to another bit of news here. Um, it says with WrestleVote says that WWE's current plans to induct the members of the 2020 Hall of Fame during WrestleMania 37 as the class of 31. So they're gonna skip a year. They're not gonna do the Hall of Fame this year. They're gonna look to do it maybe next year. Lance, it's kind of a tradition to have it every year. Couldn't they just done this as a TV show? I don't know, maybe as a fly-by-night television show where it's the Hall of Fame and who knows when
Or
this thing is gonna ever end.
or honestly, hell, just rent out a damn hall or something, some theater, and have them do their acceptance speeches. I mean, if you got to, I mean, and then air it, shit, SummerSlam weekend. That's what they should have done.
Hmm.
You know, and again, that's a good idea because they do need to do that. I think it should be done. Um, Again, to skip a year, I think we're losing out. I know they want fans, but we don't know how long this COVID is going to go. We
I
don't.
do have an idea, though. I do have an idea of one person they should add.
Okay.
Taker. Bump the Bellas to semi-main.
Yes, especially with his documentary, The Last Ride. Taker is done with professional wrestling. You know, I think it's needed. I think he needs to be honored in there. And honestly, there's no better person that should be in there right now. I am still bummed out that they don't have the British Bulldogs, that they don't have Demolition. There's the Honky Tonk Man. Um,
Honky just went in last year.
oh, he did?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Hmm.
know. I have to look it up. It's been so long. I haven't watched that.
Yeah, it's the same night Brett got jumped.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. That's right. That shows you how I pay attention to these things. Um,
Well, that's actually one of my favorite nights of the year because I like to hear them talk story.
yeah, that's one of the things I do miss about the Hall of Fame that they actually bring up. That's something, you know what, I wish they would do is actually sit back and do like these little more of these documentaries where they do shoot interviews, where they talk and because hey, kayfabe commentaries and several others do it. I think WWE should capitalize on this and say, hey, you know, let's get you and let's talk about the old days and
I disagree for one reason, Joe.
okay,
Every time they do, quote, in depth interviews, you can tell it's cleaned up like crazy.
well, yep, and that's very true. Zoe, do you agree with that?
I do. I agree with that.
All right. Well, let's go on to another topic. Jimmy Uso told Table Talk that he tore his ACL in the first minute of his match at WrestleMania 36, and he is targeting a return in January of next year. Personally, I don't care. I don't, I don't think he should even be returning. I think he should be. Oh God, I don't think the guy. I'm not a fan of the Usos. I think the thug gimmick. It's overrated, and with all his issues he's had, honestly, I think it's time to move the Usos away and do something else. Lance, what do you think?
Well, I've liked the Usos, but I also do hope he gets his demons under control. And hey, if he gets healthy and gets that shit under control and stuff, January, why not return to Rumble?
All right, Zoe, what about you? What do you think about the Usos?
Uh, I, they just, I don't care for them anymore. Like, they're just not as entertaining to me.
Mm.
I don't know why, but I just used to. I loved watching them. I would get excited to see a tag team match with them. Just, I don't know. It's like they lost something.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's in wrestling, especially in wrestling. I think when you see too much of the people, they get overrated, especially if they win 50 million belts and they're off. You don't want to see that. You want to see something new. So I think that's
Hmm.
the problem with the Usos. You know, I wasn't a big fan of them. I was when they were the Islanders type gimmick when they were Haku and Tama, like I used to call them. A little bit of the tribal paint, and then they came back as the thugs, and
Right.
it wasn't something for me. All that. So let's go into other little topics here. We're still apparently there's been, let's see, I'm trying to look up some more news. It's funny because we used to be. I used to be love. I love wrestling. I love professional wrestling. I grew up in it. Hell, I was in it. Zoe's still in it. Um,
Hmm.
and we still sometime we're gonna have to do an HWR invasion sometime.
Come get me.
Oh, we have to. You're on the way, Lance.
Yeah.
So, um, but we hope that this thing with Antifa clears up because that way, you know, we can literally move on and we can, everybody can go to normal with the COVID because right now COVID is so destroying like summer and everything. I don't know. I
Mhm.
think it's just right now it is.
Driving us all crazy.
Yeah, summer's almost. Hey, you sound like you sound like normally me. That's what I sound like when I'm a little bit batshit and crazy. Um, but
As opposed to,
okay, you got me there, Lance, like Ronald Reagan would say. You know,
Well, there is one other piece of news, and it's Sonya Deville is still receiving threatening messages against her life. There is
wow.
people saying, I am going to come and get you and finish the job, and all kinds of things. They're still doing it.
You know, I don't, again, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people. Okay, I'm sorry. It takes a special thing to be to really find Sonya Deville attractive. I think if she gets a little bit surgery for that nose, um,
Hmm.
maybe she would be you know presentable at least. You gotta feel bad. It's like these celebrities. They get well, not celebrities, but because I consider them sports actors, or I don't know what you would call them today, but
wrestlers.
no, that was in the '80s. They're like social special. What
Um,
is it? Sports entertainment actors. That's probably what Vince would tell them. We'll call them.
yeah.
Um, but the case we're saying is it's scary when you can't even go out and do something because these people are going to hound you and try to you know get you. And then there's a lot of copycatters. Social media is horrible. You're watching us now on social media, and we're using it to inform and entertain you folks. There are people that just downright evil that will like to take it and use it, against people, and I think that's a horrible thing. Also, oh yeah, you know what? Let me get throw this out here. Here is Tony Capone. He runs the NWA wrestling, the North American Wrestling Alliance, and he is greetings from Tony Capone's and the NWA back with a vengeance. Professional wrestling at its best, the way it used to be. Old school wrestling with a modern flair. Definitely check out Tony Capone. He is on Facebook. Just do the hashtag NAWA. And Tony, if you need a great girl, you need someone that knows how to kick some ass. Zoe here is a legitimate wrestler and manager. Right?
Hell yeah.
There you go. And she's in that Kentucky area, so those southern women like Baby Doll and all that will kick ass. So,
If we say bless your heart, you better run as fast as you can.
Or have a blessed day.
what's
Do
that?
what?
I said, or have a blessed day.
Oh yeah, we say have a blessed day. You better run twice fast.
I've never heard that one. I've heard that bless your heart or, some I forget the other phrases, but you know, it it's like I remember the waitress over in Tennessee when we were being chased out, and she says, "Well, goddamn
Hey,
boys,
y'all better get out of here.
yeah, you boys better get out of here. I think you're fixing to get a beating." And I'm like, okay. And I grew up. Here's the thing, and I know stereotypical. I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard with Catherine Bach as Daisy Duke, and I wanted to see those women, you know. And you got this girl that looks like Flo from the old TV show Alice with the big beehive and kiss my grits, and they're telling us like you better leave. I'm like, damn, you know. So I never got a chance to see the Catherine Box of of the South. Lance, have you?
I'm not going to bring up my personal life.
Damn. Well, Zoe is like Catherine Bach. She can kick ass.
That's right.
We gotta have to have you put on some Daisy Dukes.
Oh God, no, nobody needs to see that.
Here's something also that was told on SmackDown. Apparently, Sami Zayn is back, and he's
Yep.
back with his
Unfortunately.
version of the Intercontinental Championship. Now, mind you, Sammy never lost the belt. To his mind, he never lost it. Great, great scenario. And here he is. Jeff Hardy is the current Intercontinental Champion, beating AJ Styles. So this was set up probably with Jeff Hardy meeting the Fidel Castro of the WWE, Sami Zayn. I don't know. You know, Lance, do you think this storyline is actually worth it with Sammy?
You got that Fidel Castro vibe too.
Every time I see the guy, I'm sorry, the beard,
It's
the
it's the,
hat,
it's the hat. It's the hat and the jacket.
and the beard.
Yeah.
You know, all he has to say is "Go Cuba," and then you know he'll be chased out of everywhere.
Or Go Montreal.
That too. Um, but is it really worth it? That's the question here.
Well, maybe they can give Sammy a angle that's worth a damn.
Yeah, because he hasn't wrestled at all. I don't think he actually wrestled much as Intercontinental Champion. He always had other people do it. Zoe, same question to you. Is this worth it? Is bringing back Sami Zayn worth it? Should they use Jeff Hardy's reign to give other people a shot?
I think it's worth it as long as they actually put him in the storyline in a good way instead of just being an idiot. And he also needs to cut his hair. Oh my God, that
Well,
looked awful.
well, like I said, you know, it is the oh my god, it is the just that Fidel Castro look.
And
It,
he,
yeah, it's kind of driving me in.
oh
It
yeah,
just drives me insane.
it's like this. Give him a new look. Give him fresh storylines to do. Even one has to be with Jeff Hardy. It's
Yeah.
still good, but actually let him use his talent, not the crap that you guys write out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And as of today, it is official. The Undertaker confirms he is now fully retired. He is not
Ah,
coming back. He has no plans for a comeback as of yet. I bet you if there's more money thrown on the table, I bet you he would. But as of right now, he, he is not going to be part of that wrestling right now. So we lost another icon in professional wrestling.
Yeah, but we were saying Taker hang him up. Damn.
yeah.
Yeah, it's bad when you have that and you say, you know, it's time for you to hang them up. You know, when you have an icon like that, it's something else. You know, another person that should have hanged up a while back, even though he still can perform, is Rey Mysterio. You got your spoiled kid over. You gave him the due. Yes, he did a hell of a match with Seth Rollins, but how much more do we have to be shoved Dominic down our throat?
Okay, Joe, I've seen a few Ray interviews. Basically, right in because of stuff he said, he's in the process of retiring.
Well, that's a good thing. You know, he needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to go, and he's another guy who's been in there too long. You know, the way I see Dominic, Dominic should never been put in the storyline as that. He should have been the kid. He should have been in NXT for a while. I would have done it as book him in NXT, learning and doing all this. Let Ray do his storyline with Seth, and then out of the blue, like when he's getting his eye poked out, and a bionic eye coming in. I would like to have them do the old $6 million man thing with the do 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 with Ray's new eye, you know. But then, you know, Dominic would have ran out and saved him, and that's then after some time in NXT, that then it would have been more acceptable. Because to me, Zoe, he just skipped everybody. He didn't earn his spot.
Oh, I agree. I agree big time on it. He basically just passed up every hardworking person down at NXT. I mean, that should be an insult to them.
Yeah, and Lance, same thing. Could he have waited a little bit more?
I even said this last Sunday. How Dominic should have got into the business. Conan is his godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Go to either CMLL or Triple A, whichever. I know one of the two. I want to say it's Triple A that Conan books for. Get trained. Get into the business. Conan can teach you a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I think I would have been all right if he would have been, doing it like training elsewhere. I'm sure Ray trained him to the best of his ability, and that would have been something. But come on now, I think he should have moved on with that. All right, so we're gonna move on to another thing. This has been crazy over in the WWE. Stories being rewritten, Vince ripping up scripts. There has also been that Vince is not happy with the whole Raw Underground movement. I think Shane expressed that he wasn't happy about what was going on. So we might see the end of that Raw Underground because it just doesn't fit the narrative of the I don't know, the you could say the narrative of wrestling. It's just more shoot fighting. It reminds me, Lance, of the old Brawl for All.
Yeah, except for this, ain't people legit beating the hell out of each other.
Okay.
I
Zoe,
mean,
what guy, Lance? What do you? So you think it should have just been maybe I don't know something that they could have came up with something better, or
no, I just think honestly, I guess this is me seeing Fight Club too many damn times. I think on the Raw Underground and this Retribution thing are gonna have some sort of a damn connection.
who knows? That would have been a good thing. Use that, and I would have said that would have been something nicely done with Darren Shane would have led Retribution and say he's tired of seeing his father screw ups and Triple H's screw ups. So again, it would have been nice to see. It would have been a big change, but obviously that's um, hey, who knows? Zoe, here's some news for you, and we're going to start looking to wrap it up. But we're going to talk a little bit. There is WWE's Payback that's happening. What, Lance? This
Mhm.
Sunday.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about. You know what? We should look. I'm going to look up this, but before I go into that, Zoe, guess who
Mhm.
tops? Guess who tops the new PWI 500?
Who?
He is the one and only. Yes, He is
That's
the one and only
right.
AEW World Heavyweight Champion. John Moxley is the number one guy on Pro Wrestling Illustrated's uh, PWI 500. That's something. That
Oh,
is.
definitely.
So I am gonna look real quick. I don't care about the Bellas having kids at the same time.
You know what?
Uh,
Good for them. Good. That's all I can say. Good for them.
Bree and Daniel named their son Buddy Desert Danielson.
They're hippies,
Yeah,
Oh, now it hurts me more, mommy.
but at least they gave him the kid a normal name too.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah,
Oh God.
he used to have such crap in school.
All right. Well, I'm looking at some of these matches. Now, these are some matches that are on, and it's making me laugh. So far as we have it, folks, for this Sunday's payback, and I swear we just passed what last week's event. It is the Universal Champion, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, defending his belt. It wasn't a no-brainer. We talked about it on last pay-per-view. Roman Reigns and the Monster Braun Strowman in a no-holds-barred triple threat match. Now let's do our picks. Lance, I'm going for Bray Wyatt. Who would you go
Anybody but Roman.
for? Zoe, now that he is a Paul Heyman guy, do you think that'll help?
I think it will, and I am going to go with Roman Reigns.
All right. We're going to go on. There is also another match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, we did see Asuka win the Raw Women's Championship from Sasha Banks in a great match Sunday. Bailey retains her SmackDown Women's Championship. Well, now both girls are having to defend the women's tag team titles. This is good. This is great. I didn't like the whole concept that two people are controlling every belt because Lord
Hmm.
knows they need to spread it around. It is the team of Banks and Bailey taking on. This is a deadly team, and I do say deadly team. It is Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I heard in the back Nia Jax is getting trained better. She's kind of getting being more cautious now with other people after what happened with Carrie Zane. She's starting to get more into being, you know, you know, being more cautious and careful in the ring. Now you're teaming her up with Shayna Baszler, who's just destructive, and she hasn't had a chance at holding a belt since she left NXT. So I'm gonna call it new tag champs. Zoe, what do you think?
I agree. New tag champs. They're trying to treat this, if you guys remember, the same way that they did Sheamus and Cesaro before they became an actual team. They got these two girls arguing and fighting against each other, and now they're going up for the belts.
All right, and I think that's Lance. This is like two trucks that got collided with these two women, and the trucks lost.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Matt truck and the Matt truck victim. New tag.
There you go. So we all in agree. The team of Shane. Now here's the thing. What if we all know that the Bailey and Banks hold the tag titles? Um, Bailey still holds a women's SmackDown Women's Championship. We saw we saw Sasha Banks lose her belt, and Bailey kind of gave her a look like shit, you lost, and still like cradling her women's championship because they both were world champions, women's world champions in their respected brands. So I think if they lose the belts, I'm gonna call it right here. It's gonna be Sasha Banks that gets pinned, and this is gonna result in Bailey snapping and like you're a loser and starts beating up on Sasha Banks, which might later turn into Banks versus Bailey at some other show. So we will have to see what happens then. Here, this is a match I'm kind of upset about because I think they should have not given this match. They should have changed it a bit. It is the debuting limited one, Keith Lee, who I really think is a star. He's a really good worker. Taking on the Viper, the Legend Killer Randy Orton. I don't like this because, unless they're looking to already kill Keith Lee, it's not a good idea. I I will hope that something like maybe Drew McIntyre comes on and interferes and makes Randy lose. I hope Keith Lee wins this because we don't need him to lose. Especially on his first main roster pay per view. I hope that they don't have him. He'll probably get an RKO out of nowhere afterwards to build up a feud. But Lance, let's hope that they don't job this poor guy.
Well, unfortunately, after what I saw Monday night, they're fucking doing it again. They're bringing somebody up from NXT and they're bastardizing their gimmick again.
Well,
This LOD crack baby's all fucking over again.
And if you don't know what he's referring about, he's referring to the Ascension. The Ascension were in NXT. They were a great team. When they brung them up to the main roster, they just destroyed them. They were worthless. Um, Zoe, also Keith Lee is debuting a new outfit and new music that he approved. Is that going to help him against Randy Orton?
No, it ain't gonna help him. And honestly, I'm probably gonna use this match as my bathroom break.
Who was your pick?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Orton.
Jeez. All right. Let's go to another match that this is just another repeater. I wish they would change it up a bit, but it's obviously it's not. The United States Championship is on the line as Apollo Crews now faces again another member of MVP's team. This time it is Bobby Lashley. I don't understand the concept of having these two guys going, back and forth, having this poor guy defend his belt against MVP multiple times. Now Bobby Lashley, obviously Sheldon Benjamin, who's the 24/7 champion. He's gonna probably get involved. You know, Lance, is this tough love to make Apollo join them?
It's tough on somebody. I think it's tough on the fucking audience.
By the way, I'm gonna put it that this is gonna be Apollo Crews is gonna retain it, but disqualification. So I don't know, Lance. Who do you think?
To quote Rocky, yo Apollo.
All right, Zoe, is this another bathroom break for you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go with Apollo though.
All right. You can tell none of us are really proud and happy about this match. I would like to see him defend his belt against somebody else. In all honesty. And we said
Defend it against Sheldon.
You know what? I wish he would defend it against somebody else. Anybody else would have been, because look, they don't have Cesaro on here. He could have defended his belt against Cesaro. He could have defended the belt against, hell, AJ Styles.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah, because AJ's.
They're two different shows.
Well, they could have done it anyway. That don't even stop WWE from doing it. We said We said this at the last pay per view. We were expecting to see this. It is going to happen. It is the main event of Payback. Oh, my head hurts, Lance. It hurts. It is the Mysterios. It is, hey man, it's Ray Ray, taking on with his 16-year-old looking son, Dominic. It's gonna take on Seth Rollins again. This time they're throwing in Buddy Murphy. Or Murphy, that's all they call him now. Remember, he can't have can't have two names, even though Seth Rollins has two names. Um, I hope that Dominic comes out with an outfit that doesn't have the hood, because that was kind of ridiculous. Um, oh, this is already hurting my. This is hurting me, and what I'm gonna say is gonna hurt me even more. And I actually think we're gonna see Dominic and Ray get this win because what happened? Seth won the last encounter. We knew it was going to come down to a tag match. I am betting another thing too that Mama Mysterio comes down the ringside and cheers her son and hubby, who she dwarfs fucking both.
Yeah.
So slaps a little taste out of fucking Ray Ray. You know, why don't you come in the ring and start doing be a father? You know, why do I always have to hide for you? Don't you know Dominic is Eddie's son? Oops, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, go do good.
Excuse me. Not you.
Oh
No,
God.
Lance, over you. What do we really want to see this? Is these so far? These matches are all freaking bathroom breaks.
I'm gonna be blitzed by this point, so Ray Ray.
All right, Zoe, are you gonna
Oh,
join Lance there with this being Oh God, we're gonna be stoned by this one or drunk by this one. Who's your
oh,
pick?
definitely. Oh, definitely. And obviously the Mysterios.
All right, so that's gonna be our picks for.
Now,
Okay.
quickly, I think if WWE is smart, and I know that's wishing a lot,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Retribution causing shenanigans all over this show.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a great thing, at least for them to finally make their mark as in there.
Yeah.
Right now, they're just again. I'm sorry, but I am not. I would not never promote anything that reflects on the real world. You know, at least not as violent and as destructive, as negative as that. It's one thing, like you said, Lance. You had Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, and they were basically comic relief back then. They were the heels, and you could tell the difference with them. And if you look at your screen now, let me see here. Where is he? Shiki Baby's on the screen right now.
Oh, man.
He's taking over my desk here. So yeah, he it is they were like a comedy duel. You had in the NWA the Koloffs were more. I would say they were the more diehard Russian team than Sheik and Volkov will ever will be. Definitely better than the Bolsheviks. Um, and you brought up Sergeant Slaughter in the Middle East thing. I think that had the semblance also of you know negativity, but I think in this day and age it's really bad to promote this as the way it is now. But again, that's me. I'm old school, so we might see Retribution come out. We might see them. Who knows? Maybe led by somebody else. I don't know. Shane O'Mac would have been a perfect guy for this. You know, if I was writing WWE, I think I would have had Shane O'Mac leading the thing and trying to take over from his papa. You know what? Let's do some closing notes right here. Again, I just brought that up. Lance, any closing comments before we go off the air?
Well, one thing, because I know we haven't talked about it on the show before because it happened, I believe, Monday. It's the whole. Did y'all ever, the two people that got in trouble in the Thunderdome
Oh yes,
for
let's talk about
the
that real quick.
Clan and Benoit?
Well, you know what? It was nice to see Chris on WWE TV once again.
That's
Uh,
good for he's been dead 12 years, doesn't he?
well, he looked good for 12 years. They should have made him a zombie. I think they would
Oh,
allow
God.
that. Can you imagine that? You know, and now before every week start getting the hate and all that, Chris Benoit killed Nancy Benoit, who I
Yeah,
met. You know, I met Nancy Benoit. She was at a wrestling convention when I was there signing autographs. Um, I gotta say
she
this.
deserved it.
Oh my God, she was great looking. I gotta say this. You know what? Just like the situation with Rock and Rebel. Rock and Rebel did this. He pulled a Chris Benoit. I'm not gonna go further in it, but okay, but the scenario here is, I look at Chris Benoit, the wrestler,
Yeah.
not what he did outside the ring. To me, Chris Benoit will always be the crippler crossface who entertained me in the ring. Same thing with Rock and Rebel. I separate him from Chuck Williams, and he was always great with me. He was watched out for my career when I was young with Jason, so I can't say nothing bad. But they could have done something. They could have acknowledged. They said, "Oh, look, it's Chris Benoit coming back from the dead." It may have been tasteless, but it would have been funny. And then they go, "Bloop." Well, I guess he had to go kill someone. I don't know. You know,
Oh, good God.
you know,
That and the Klansman.
yeah. The Klansmen. Well, you got retribution. I guess they had to do something. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not getting their voice out, obviously. So that was something else. Um, you know what, Zoe? What if this is the problem when you let people go wild from their home, and to them, there's
Mm.
really no consequence. You know, look at us. We're talking about wrestling here, and we're poking fun at Chris Benoit and this like this, and
That and real quick before anybody asks, there's no way in hell me, Joe, Zoe, or Rick, hell Andy, any of us are making the Thunderdome ever. They check you out.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
God.
with our
We're
bad
on a list.
with our bad stuff that we've been saying against WWE, I don't think we'll ever get. That's like if TNA or Impact or whatever the hell they want to call it decided to like do something like this. We know we'll never
Oh, we're blackballed
ever.
there.
I'm gonna pull a Chris Jericho ever. Get into this. So yeah, that's another thing. So we'll never see that happen. So and again, I don't give a damn. I don't care. If it was, I was gonna go on. I'll be wearing my Scourge's Realm shirt, and I'll be holding up HWR, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Check out the podcast for real wrestling news. You know, whoop. Gee, you're off the air. Um, so, but Zoe, the question is, didn't WWE expect this to happen?
Good Lord, if they didn't, they're idiotic. I mean, daggone. It's obviously some fans are going to go on there and try to get noticed for not really family friendly ways, I guess you could say it.
I'm waiting for Lance the first ever boob flash or stripped. Like,
Either that or somebody getting blown on camera.
oh jeez.
Mm.
Hey, oh my God, we accidentally tuned into Vince's office. I'm sorry. We'll switch that right now. Um,
Wait, what's John Cena doing to Vince?
yeah. What,
I'm telling you, this will end
yeah.
real fast for the people.
Well, wait. Oh my God, we went to another camera, and there's Pat Patterson getting blown by another ring boy.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
switch the camera. Switch the camera.
Yeah,
I put it like this. I know I'll never. I will never get a shot like actually in a big, major league of professional wrestling. So I don't care. I've had my fun in wrestling. My guys won titles. I can't complain. It was a hell of a thing. Now it's up to Zoe to get promoters upset now.
Exactly.
So, but you know, the thing is, Lance, I think once they saw how AEW did their show with fans, do you think the Thunderdome or whatever the hell is gonna last, or do you see them changing it up and pulling AEW?
It depends on, well, one, I know they got a lease for the place that they're using it right now for like a couple of months. So honestly, it depends on how well it works for AEW, but we're at least in for 2 months of the Thunderdome.
Yeah, that. Wow. I'm gonna do a quick. This is not wrestling related, but I think it's just important. Black Panther star, the movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
Chadwick
Mm.
Boseman, he's dead at age 43 from cancer.
Um,
And he
Oh.
portrayed the legendary Jackie Robinson and James Brown in various movies. And he did the Black Panther movie. And it's sad to see he passed away from, he passed away from cancer, and that's never a great thing. You know, he was able to bring, he was the character King T'Challa, who, if you guys remember that. Um,
No.
or
mm-mm.
if you ever seen the movie Black Panther, you would know.
All right.
Um, but what a shame. It's sad to see that just came over my stream. It just came over my news. So again, sad, so sad to hear. Um, I hope everybody, everybody takes care of themselves during these troubled times, especially with the situation going on. All right, you know what? Let's wrap this up really quick. We will be back Sunday night for payback. We will be starting. We will actually be setting up for the stream. And again, we are not streaming the pay per view. If you want to see it, order it from WWE Network. We will be going live with our commentary and opinion. So if you want to see, if you are down with us, just turn off Michael Cole, raise us up. We will give you a good bunch of laughs. I am Joseph Scoldren Knight, and you can find me on Scoldren's Realm, which is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just do the hashtag Scoldren's Realm, and I am also on Instagram the same way. I am also on Twitter at Scoldren. I do a lot of game videos. So check me out. Definitely would like more follows. Definitely like more stars. I got a I got a limit. I'm at 97%. I need to get that full thing. So check me out there. If you're interested in some Scoldren Realm shirts or HWR shirts, be sure to check out Scoldren's Realm. Go to streamlabs.com/Scoldren's Realm and you can check all that. Let's go to you, Zoe. You are the active woman wrestler in the group. You are the only active woman wrestler in the group, unless Rick is not telling us something, and he's not
Oh
here to defend
God.
himself. So, so, so Zoe,
Oh my God.
let us know what's going on in your world, and let everybody know what's happening.
As of right now, not too much is happening. I just got a new home, getting ready to move into it. You guys can always catch me on Facebook. My wrestling page is Zoe Nightshade. You could also catch me on Kentucky's Own Wrestling's Facebook page. And typically every Friday, I go live and do creepy pasta readings or supposedly true story readings. And that's over on the Nightmare Vixen page on Facebook.
All right, Lance, let everybody know what are you up to in these day and age.
Well, I put every Tuesday I go live. Zoe and I both go live on Lance Moss TV and Friends. Coffee
Mm.
time. We never know who's going to show up besides us two. It's eight Eastern, 7 Central. But also tomorrow night we'll be going live on Lance Moss TV and Friends, the weekend edition at again 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Come by, have some fun. We never know what the hell we're going to say. Hell, last Tuesday we had Zoe where she couldn't breathe.
Yep.
All right, and again, this is HWR Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Four Corner Rants. We do wrestling news, rumors. He does post up like different articles and everything that goes on, instant news, so you want to check it out. just go to the group section on Facebook, HWR Chat Room, and you can get everything wrestling related. So if you're interested in joining, let us know. Go there. And again, if you're interested in HWR shirts or Lance Hamas or Zoe Nightshade shirts, definitely, or my shirts, for example, just go to streamlabs.com/Scoldrens Realm. Let me know which shirt you want. I will post up more pics and we can get that going for you. So again, check us out this Sunday for WWE's Payback, and we will entertain you as best as possible. So with that, I'm gonna say we'll see ya when we see ya. I try to sound like Rick, but I can't do it. Lance?
Buy the shirt!
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Zoe, before I let you go, I know I gotta say this. I'm gonna ask you this because I'm gonna have him try to look at the show later. Tell him, let Johnny know you still care.
Oh God. The Uber of Westchester.
There you go. I know that. I know that makes my woodpecker peck.
Oh my God.
And everybody that's listening just had to clean themselves up.
Yeah, exactly.